All right, so we finna get into this interview. I'm gonna do the intro. We're gonna get into these questions, and don't start with the whole sweating shit bullshit.
Oh, damn, I forgot my towel.
Girl, bye. Anyway, this is Thor. I'm your host, and this is Black Girl Tired Book Talk podcast. We're sitting down with a writer whose mind clearly lives in that deliciously chaotic intersection of dark humor, psychological suspense, and what in the hell just happened storytelling. By day, J.R. Masson is a clever creator running a freelance design company and working in audiobook narration. But by night, she's the kind of author whose imagination wanders into the murky corners of the human psyche then invites readers to come along for the ride. After more than a decade navigating the wild circus that is modern dating, if y'all read this book, I'm telling you, um, she has turned her real life experiences into the hilariously candid memoir series Confessions of a Sane Single Woman and its sequel Soulmate Setbacks. But when that wasn't enough to contain the chaos of her imagination, she pivoted into dark territory with the psychological crime thriller trilogy Stolen Pieces, a gripping series that explores obsession, revenge, and the terrifying reality that the person watching you might already be closer than you think. Then many of us can relate to pure frustration with life and neighbors and readers. She created the wickedly funny dark comedy How to Kill Your Neighbors and Get Away, which has now evolved into an entire series called How to Kill. Armed with degrees in journalism, advertising, graphic design, and public relations, this Pittsburgh native blends storytelling craft with razor sharp wit. And when she isn't writing thrillers or writing audio or narrating audiobooks, she's playing trumpet, traveling, and acting as a murder consultant to fellow thriller authors. In other words, if your life gets suspiciously interesting after this interview, we might know who to call. So let's welcome thriller author J.R. Masson and your craziness.
Thank you. That was great. Like, can you send me that so I can put that on my bio?
Yo, that's wild. So let's get into these questions. All right. Psychological thrillers often explore the darkest corners of the human behavior obsession, revenge, manipulation, fear. As a Black woman writing in a genre historically dominated by white voices, how do you approach crafting psychological tension while also navigating the expectations, the assumptions, and sometimes limitations placed in on Black authors in publishing?
Girl, what?
Girl, please, please, please. Please. My God.
You are killing me. Honestly, I don't even think about all of that because most of my stories are told based on my actual life.
Mm-hmm.
I just happen to be a Black woman doing all of the crazy. But six of my books are based on my actual real life confessions, my real life dating. So literally it's just me out here in these streets being a Black woman and all this crazy weirdness is happening. And so I'm like, oh, word, you're going to act like that? I'm going to put it in a book. And that's what's happening. So in my mind, I'm not even thinking about the fact that like my race in terms of like the writing aspect, it's more like I'm just living my life and people are crazy around me. So it has to go in a book.
Yeah. See, the thing I think is that we don't think about race. Other people think about race, and they just constantly pivot that as the beginning conversation when it comes to Black people. They never say, "Oh, that's a psychological thriller author." They say that's a Black psychological thriller author. And I know we are proud of who we are, but damn, what the fuck?
That's true. And when I got nominated for all those awards with the It's Lit Literary Awards, and it always says best Black this, best Black this. When I announced it, I always just put best this because, I mean, y'all know I'm Black, so why does that part matter?
Yeah, yeah.
I did it well. I think whether, I'm Black or not shouldn't.
And that's where the separation comes in. because I feel like with the whole black narrative, it's like it also puts us in a box and takes us out of the running of the big picture. Not saying it's just us doing that, the world is doing that, but it's just us fighting against it so we don't keep doing that narrative because a lot of people
Right.
miss out on opportunities that way.
Right. And I don't like that they just assume that because we're black, it's going to be urban.
Mm, yeah.
Like, why is that just the automatic assumption? Like, I'm probably one of the least, like, if you're going to go stereotypically urban people, like, I was raised in the suburbs. And none of my books, I don't have any urban, like, books, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So now I'm going to preface this. My questions are all going to be compound questions, Tony, but you will get the gist of it. So, thrillers require a deep understanding of human psychology sometimes. When you're developing your villains and morally gray characters, what research or real world observation, because you said is based off of your own experiences, do you draw from to make them feel chillingly like believable rather than cartoonish evil type villains? Don't start. Don't start.
I'm
Don't.
not even going to start because that's a good question. I shouldn't say this out loud, but most of my killers are based on me, my thoughts, my personality traits. Uh, if you read the Stolen Pieces series, The Keeper, uh, I am I have a lot of those characteristics. Not all of them. If y'all read it, and y'all who's watching, if y'all have read it, not all of them. Y'all know what I mean. If you know, you know. But yeah, a lot of the traits, a lot of even like the nervous habits that like the one picks the fingernails as a nervous tick, bites the lip as a nervous tick. Um, just down to certain things that they drink that they like to do for fun, chores that they actually hate doing in the house. Like it's creepy to listen to it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm probably a whole sociopath and don't even realize it. Like, really, really?
Well, wait a minute, because I'm a diagnosed sociopath. Don't do that.
Oh, nice to meet you, cuz sis. We should go on a spree together.
I ain't said nothing. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I ain't say nothing about nothing. All right?
But in terms of the rest of the question, I am the type of person who I know it's fiction, and people always say it's fiction, but I like my fiction mildly rooted in actual reality. Like I
Mm.
like to commit murders in the books that feel like they could legitimately happen, right? So when I tell you I've written when I've written these books, I have consulted with everyone. When I tell you everyone, down to the sanitation workers, to get the correct terminology for the garbage truck and like how they would actually load the garbage in this particular type of alley. I sent them the actual alley that I was referencing because it's all set here in Pittsburgh, in like real life in Pittsburgh. The cops, the detective, the cadaver dog specialist, the FBI agent. I was just on the phone with one of those this morning about body cam questions. So I like to get it as close to reality as possible, and I personally think that's one of the most disturbing things about my work is you're reading it and you're like, this kind of could actually happen. And like even with the defense attorney, I consulted a defense attorney because if I'm going to commit the crime, I need to know how I'm going to get out of it, like reasonably in the book. If I need the character out of it, I need to know these things. So I consulted everyone when I wrote every one of these books. So
Right. Yep. Next question. Okay. So the psychological thriller genre thrives on un- unreliable narrators and twists and emotional manipulation of readers. if you get what I'm saying. What are some storytelling techniques you love using to keep readers constantly questioning what's real or what's not?
That's rough. And to answer the one lady's question, yes, I'm absolutely scared. I'm on a watch list. I be looking out the windows all the time, watching my back because I'm afraid. Um, yeah. Wow. I think my goal is I want to make sure I have enough like twists and turns and surprises. I want there to always be a surprise. And I tend to slide them in subtly, so you kind of have to pay attention. If you're not paying attention, you're likely to miss it. So pay attention to my shit. But that's what I enjoy doing is just dropping gems to the point where when it is revealed, if you don't know who the killer is and it does get revealed, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, it all makes sense now because chapter 2, this happened, chapter 3, like, and you'll be able to literally go through and like pick out all the gems that were dropped that you missed because they didn't make sense at the time. But once you find out who the killer is, you're just like, oh, yeah, that. So I just want to make sure my breadcrumbs are all there. And yeah.
So a lot of readers assume thrillers are just about crime and suspense, but the best psychological thrillers are really about human vulnerability and emotional trauma sometimes. So what deeper themes do you find yourself exploring again and again in your work?
I don't know why I tend to gravitate to like assault. um, like physical, mental, emotional abuse, like any type of abuse, like all the abuses basically tend to be like appear in my work. With Stolen Pieces, we went from just mentions of it, like it's mentioned casually. And then by book 2, it was like, okay, we're getting closer. And then by book 3, it was like, okay, we're here. It's happening. Like that guy in the office, it's happening. Like, and it's going to get really like dark by comparison to the rest of the series because we're not mentioning it. We're not referencing it. We're not alluding to it. We're now here and you're living it. And in the audiobook, it's even more intense because, you know, my audiobooks are fully immersive. So if someone's being tortured, assaulted, beaten, whatever, you're going to hear about it in the background. And it's quite disconcerting.
Yeah, because her audiobook on how to kill your neighbor, yeah, it's real immersive.
So did you finish it?
I'm almost to the last chapter. I needed to stop laughing so much and really pay attention. Because every other word that came out your mouth, I was cackling.
Well, that's good.
And the po boyfriend, he just like, wait a minute.
Oh, just wait. Wait till you get to how to kill your coworkers. Darren.
I'm scared. So Black women writers are often pushed into romance or contemporary fiction lanes. What was it about thrillers and psychological storytelling that made you say, "No, this is where my imagination lives"?
Well, actually, I started out with a rom-com, a nonfiction rom-com, which is Confessions of a Single Woman. Yeah, and it's hilarious. It's funny. And so I was fine with stopping there. I never needed to write again in my life because this shit is exhausting and I don't ever need to do it again. Like I would be fine. And then people were like, you're kind of creepy. You should write a thriller. And I'm like, well, I can't write a thriller because thrillers, people do dumb stuff, right? Like you have to almost do something stupid to keep the story going because like in real life, if I go out into the woods and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that noise? I'm leaving. Now the book's over, right? So I almost have to go into the woods for the book to continue. So I was like, I can't write a book with like stupid people doing stupid things because that's just going to piss me off, right? So I guess I can't write a thriller ever. But then I was like, okay, no, you can do this. You're going to write a thriller where the people are not doing dumb shit, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the goal. And so I feel like I accomplished that. One person did something stupid at the end, but like it had to happen. He didn't think it was stupid. Everybody reading thought it was stupid.
Well, okay.
And so, yeah, that's how it happened. I just ended up murdering everybody, and it felt really good.
Oh. So, thriller writers have, to me, at least a slightly unhinged imagination. What's a moment while writing when you stopped and thought, wow, if anyone reads this without context, I might end up on the watch list?
These people in these comments, Darren, Team Linda, y'all are a mess in these comments. I don't know that there's any one thing that I thought was going to put me on the watch list. The whole Stolen Pieces series, I thought was going to put me on the watch list. I was less concerned about being on the watch list and more concerned about the fact that, like, after reading How to Kill Your Coworkers, there's a whole section at the end of that book that I read it and I was like, if a man reads this, he's never going to date me. Like, he's never going to date me. He's going to read this and be like, this bitch is so methodical. Because I always have an order of operations. There's always an order of operations. I'm very methodical. And you're going to read that and be like, I can never date her. I'm never going to get a date again if they read How to Kill Your Coworkers.
That is so
and so that's, you said I've been on the watch list. You are so
crazy. So your How to Kill series blends murder, satire, and dark humor in a way that's both hilarious and unsettling. How do you balance making readers laugh while maintaining the suspense and tension in a thriller?
Honestly, I don't classify these as thrillers. I feel like they're more mystery than thriller. Well, maybe How to Kill Your Readers is a little more thrillery. So I've been told they're all like, that was so suspenseful. It scared me. But I feel like they're more mysteries. And in terms of the actual thriller that I wrote that did make everyone laugh, which was Stolen Pieces 2, I get so many comments like, they're like, am I supposed to be laughing this much in this? That was not even intentional. It was literally the character. The character is just freaking hilarious. And you can't, like, it's like a totally unhinged serial killer and the person's hilarious. And so it wasn't even intentional. Like, it was not me like, oh, I'm going to include humor in this. It just, the way it got written, it just came out funny.
The craziness. So dark comedy often works because it reflects real life frustrations. What everyday annoyances, neighbors, coworkers, life in general, have made you think, you know what? This could absolutely become a murder plot.
So, a year and a half ago or so, almost 2 years, my next door neighbor actually did pass away. I didn't do it.
Oh.
Don't look at me like that.
Well,
I didn't do it. He was amazing. I loved him. He was perfect. He was the best neighbor. Like, he was gay, and I love the gays. Oh my gosh. Because he just, everything was so neat and meticulous. Like, he just kept his yard up. He was quiet, except he would sing Whitney Houston, which I loved. He was just the best, most perfect neighbor, right? He passed away, and then I got new neighbors. And so, like, everything from there just went all downhill. And so their whole, the mere existence of them had me like, I need to take them out. But I didn't. I wrote a book about it instead.
I'm fucking dead. Oh, fucking, this interview. What the fuck?
And this lighting is not helping me at all. I look demonic right now, but I don't have any power. So.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I want to talk about pivot and talk about, how many Black authors across genres talk about how their work is often categorized, minimized or marketed differently than their white counterparts. From your perspective as a writer in those genres, suspense, mystery, psychological thriller, where do you see the biggest disparities in how Black authors are treated by readers or the industry?
I feel like we are somehow nitpicked to death way more, especially on the indie side. The amount of people I see out there talking about, well, they're indie authors, they don't get editors. Excuse me. Like my circle of people, we hire editors, okay? We edit our shit. The fuck? But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the white folks and how they're treated. But I feel like some of the reviews I read, I'm just like blown away, and not necessarily mine, but just when I'm on other people's Goodreads reading, to see if I want to read that book. And that is what got me staying away from Goodreads. I said in my book, this is the bane of my literary existence. I have no interest in Goodreads. So yeah, even on Amazon, it's less mean on Amazon, but it's still a little crazy. And I feel like they're just nitpicking everything. And it's like, okay, well, you go write the book. Okay, there were 6 typos or 6 errors or whatever in a 60,000 word book. Like, we're deducting 2 stars for that. What? So it's crazy. But I could be tripping. I don't know what the white folks doing. They might be having a problem too. But just reading some of these reviews I've seen, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. So sometimes the disrespect doesn't only come from institutions itself, it also comes across from readers. And have you experienced a moment where assumptions about Black authors, especially Black indie authors, affected how your books were perceived or promoted?
No, other than the editing thing that really pisses me off because like Anna J said in the comments, we spend a lot of money on our editing. And I'm talking about like I got 10 to 12 beta readers for every book, making sure, I want to know, like I talk to I call them. We have a phone call and everything. Like I want to know, what were you thinking at this point? When did you think you know who the killer was? Like I want to know, because if a bunch of y'all knew right here, then I needed to edit it and tweak it so nobody knows right there, right?
Mhm.
So like we put a lot of time and effort and money into it, and so that I think is the one thing that pisses me off the most, when people just are like, oh well, they're an indie author, so they're not having their books edited and it's just going to be a mess. And Black folks are just, we have no grammar skills and we can't write a book. Like, what? Are you crazy? Half of my crew has master's degrees and above. Like, get your life together.
I think everybody wants to be a literary editor and has no idea what they're talking about, from M dashes to commas to word placement to AAVE even. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people say this is not AAVE, but you got to understand slang is different in every state. So whereas a writer might say something from like Montgomery, Alabama, it's not going to sound the same from New York. You know what I'm saying? So I think people are the harshest critics on Black authors, especially Black indie authors. But and yet y'all still, and I say this with my whole chest every time, y'all still let the Zodiac Academy become a bestseller. And that Bible is literally filled with grammatical errors and format.
Wow.
But y'all
Wow.
cool with that. I'm gonna keep saying that. So you're not only a writer, you're also an audiobook narrator. When you narrate a book, how does that experience change the way you think about pacing, dialogue, and character voices when you're writing your own stories?
Um, well, that's the first thing I think of. Like once it starts playing back to me in Microsoft Word and I'm listening to it, I'm like, ooh, I'm really focused on duplicate words. Like you're not going to hear me use the same word back to back unless there's a reason that I'm using it back to back, for like humor or to be intentional, like to like emphasize that word, but otherwise, like, I'm real sensitive to hearing those back-to-back words, because I know that when I go to perform the book later, it's gonna sound strange and I don't like it. I'm very sensitive to, I try to like keep my names as separate as possible, just because I don't want any confusion with names if people are just listening, versus seeing the words. It makes a difference.
Mm.
So yeah, that type of stuff I focus on more than anything. Also, some of my other author friends, when I'm beta reading their work and I know they're going to get an audiobook made, there's times where someone interrupts you and they'll say, so-and-so interrupted, and then they'll put the text. And I always tell them, move the text in front of so-and-so interrupted. So when the audiobook goes to be performed, someone's like, ah, da, 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 and then someone just busts in with blah, 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 right? And then they interrupted, because it gives it more like impact when you're editing it. But I be acting like I'm about to do everybody's audiobook. I'm not. But in my mind, I feel like I should be. Because it's fun and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, so those are the things that I kind of like to focus on when I'm writing, because I know mine at least are gonna be audiobooks.
So writing a character and voicing a character are two completely different creative processes. What surprised you the most when you stepped into narration?
How hard it was.
Elaborate, ma'am.
Shit was hard. Look, in my mind, I'm like, okay, how hard can this be? Right? I'm gonna read a book. The fuck? No, you're not. And the first book I did was Stolen Pieces, and I sat right here in my dining room with a microphone and a computer, like, I'm gonna narrate a book. Ma'am, where's the insulation? Where is the stuff? Right? Like, I wasn't thinking about any of that. So I've since re-recorded Stolen Pieces, and I am like 9 chapters from it being completely edited. So it will sound more rich and more full and less hollow, like we've just been in an open room, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as easy as people just think, that they're like, okay, I'm just going to narrate the book. Like, you're not thinking about how much noise your mouth makes. You talk and you don't hear that, but the microphone hears it. The microphone hears everything. Okay. Like, Kira's stomach was growling in our How to Kill Your Readers, and I heard it. I was like, bitch, go get a cheeseburger. What is wrong with, like, go eat, right? Like, I can't use this. I need you to redo the line, right? So people don't think about like any of that. Just the around you, the sound around you, that like I am now very cognizant of when I'm recording something. Like, Anna J sent me some lines, and there was a whole ambulance driving by, and I'm like, ma'am, what? I can't use this. I can hear the ambulance. She's like, I didn't even hear that, because this is not what she does, so she's not paying attention to that part. She's so focused on her lines, but you have to literally focus on like everything around you. Or then you're going to have to re-record, and I don't like to have to re-record, so I try to be very cognizant of everything. And then just, if you're reading the book versus performing the book, there's also a difference. I did Tanisha Stewart's book, The Babysitter, and literally, like, I was in tears in like several of those scenes, and I didn't edit it out. Like, you can hear me sniffing, like you can hear all of it, because you feel that emotion. So to the person who said there was no emotion in that book, but okay. So yeah, like there's a huge difference between just reading it and actually performing the book. So when I have your work, you're going to get a full audio experience.
I already said I want you for one of the books that I have contract through Podium. And that one is going to be more of a rom-com / dark romance. So I already picture the character, your voice. Yeah. But all right.
Thank you. I love that, because Tony said the same thing. She was like, I was writing Safe House and I was on the toilet. I think she said she was on a toilet. Somebody was on a toilet hearing my voice while they was reading and writing Safe House. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Okay. so when narrating thrillers, the tension, it has to come through with your voice. What techniques do you use to build suspense for listeners in a way that differs from the written page?
It's the music and the sound effects.
Mm.
And I don't just grab music and just drop it in. I am like, I have the manuscript open if I haven't recorded it yet and I'm trying to find the music, or if I've already recorded it, I'm playing the line, like the scene where I need the music. And I'm playing the music and listening to the audio so I can see if they go well together. You can say all day that, oh, I just need some tense music, but this tense music that you downloaded may not go with the words and the emotion that's going on in this particular scene. You have to have the right music. So I spend so much time, like these people have no idea how much time I actually spend scoring their audiobooks. And once I have the music, depending on which package you've gotten from me, which most people have gotten the premium package, I'm cutting that audio up. Like I needed the music to decrescendo, the crescendo here, then I needed to decrescendo here, then I needed to power in here. Like, so I'm cutting this music all up to be damned, and like listening to just the sound, the music soundtrack, to make sure it sounds good. And then I turn on my clip, the narration over it to make sure everything is where it needs to be. But like a lot of work goes into that. I'm not just dropping music into your audiobook. So it's a lot. And that's what I think helps to build the tension. And yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with Diamonds Are Forever in October. I can't wait because I'm gonna make sure I tell them I want you. You.
Well, I signed up to be with Podium and they never got back to me. So,
well, I'm picking you. I don't give a fuck. I'm picking you. So,
are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Are you?
I don't have to pick the same narrators. Well, I don't know about nobody else, but that was my stipulation. I'm not picking the same because they try to do like a package where I had the same narrators throughout the series. And since they only got 3 books, I said no because each voice is different. I know who I want to play this character. I know who I want to play that character. So I don't want the same voices throughout the series. I want different voices for each character because they are each different gods. So there's no way. Each book is almost a different genre. So therefore, it cannot be the same ones. This Shadows of Forever is dark romance, fantasy, paranormal. Incubus and the Flame is pitch black, dark romance. Diamonds Are Forever is a rom-com, a dark rom-com. So no way. Ain't no way. So let's talk about your books. Lord Jesus. Confessions of a Sane Single Woman. Let's start there. The book reads like the ultimate dating survival guide disguised as a comedy. What made you decide to take these very real chaotic dating experiences and turn them into a memoir style narrative instead of quietly blocking those men and moving on with your life?
So I did quietly block those men and move on with my life, but not before I screenshotted their craziness and kept it all in a folder somewhere. And I also had a YouTube page where I would talk about these dates. And then someone was like, you need to post these on social media. So I started posting on social media these crazy dates that I would go on. Like the man wanted to release a bag of live crickets in my house because he was convinced.
That was for real?
He was for real. He thought my cat was bored while I was at work for 10 hours. I was gone and the cat was bored. It is a cat. The cat is not concerned. But yes, he was like, I live right down the street. And when I come over, I'm going to go straight from the pet store. And when I come over, I'm going to bring you a bag of live crickets. We're going to release them in the house. Cat's going to have fun. Right?
That was what? A real thing. I cannot believe that was a real thing.
Yes, everything in that book is real. That all happened. There's probably like 93 or so % of that book is like all real, and all the dates are real. Everything is verbatim if you're reading it. The messages, the spelling errors, everything. I copy and pasted that shit, right? That book only took me 6 weeks to write because I had all of the content. All I had to do was scroll through social media to find it. And then I had to set it up so that it read like fiction because I didn't want it to read like date, 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 right? I wanted it to feel like I was telling like a fictional story about this woman who's like looking for love and just failing all the way through.
So what
And it
about
was funny
the
because I got a
Victoria's
review.
Secret thing?
Oh, that was real. You read this book?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes, that was real. Yes. And that was the same man who tried to do the thing, and the thing was very real. And I was like, sir, you are down there licking the blanket. What are you doing? Like, just stop. Let it go. Just let it go.
I picked the wrong type of liquid to fucking drink talking to you. What? What?
Yeah.
I'm,
So the
wow.
only thing that was fictional in that book was me adding certain things so that I would be able to tell the stories. Like in a manner that like so the story could get out. Because like I said, I didn't want it to just be like a list. But yeah.
I am
That's crazy.
so flabbered to the motherfucking gasket. I just, oh my
Me
God.
too.
Wow. Jesus.
And did you read part 2 or no?
I haven't read part 2. I read part 1. I only read part 1.
Because there is a bonus chapter in that book because there was like the whole thing with Diego, which I'm not even going to tell you because but you know who Diego is. You know his role in my life. And he came and made this kind of proposition and I shouldn't have taken it, but I did. And he was like, but I don't want you to put this in the book. And I was like, don't worry, the book is already done. I'm an indie author. Okay. I can edit my shit whenever I want, update, whatever. But okay, I'm not going to put it in the book. The book is done. All I ask is that you do not lie to me. Don't lie to me. That's all. That is, I feel like it's a very simple request. Well, he got caught. He got caught in a big lie. And so I was like, word, this is what we doing? Say less. And I went and straight got my computer out and started putting all the business and put the bonus chapter in the book. And I aired that shit all the way the fuck out. And I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong in the bonus chapter. And I admit my wrongdoing in this whole scenario. But the bonus chapter is insane. And all you had to do was not lie to me. That was it.
I gotta read book 2. Oh my God. I'm scared. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's go to Stolen Pieces. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, the premises of the book is a killer who steals pieces of victims and stages them in public spaces. Is very disturbing, but and yet fascinating. I don't know what that say about me. What inspired the psychological concept behind the Peacekeeper?
So that part I can't actually answer without giving you this a huge spoiler. But I just happened to be on the massage table one night and I said to my massage therapist, I want to write a book where this is going on and then this happens, but this is what's really happening. And she was like, ooh, that sounds like fun. And then that was it. Like, that was it. But like, I can't tell you the happenings without it giving away everything.
Wait a minute. Let's backtrack. Let's go back a little bit. You said you was on the massage table and this came to you?
Yes. Well, yeah, you read Confessions. You know, I get a massage every week. It was getting a 90-minute massage every week.
Yeah, but see, it didn't include that this is how you find your well, you know, usually I am never speechless during the interview, but you know, there's a first time for everything.
But that one was so much fun though, because like we literally cased all the places where you are finding the pieces of people. Like we went to them. I was looking for cameras. I was looking for escape routes because like I said, I like my murders and fiction to be rooted very much in reality. So how can I leave this piece of this person in this area? Where are the cameras? Can I logistically do this and escape unseen? And so we went to every location where you find the pieces of people. We observed, we searched for the cameras. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Detective Claudia Martinez begins to suspect that she might be personally connected to the killer obsession. When writing a protagonist who might be the target, how do you maintain tension without revealing too much too early?
So that would be what we talked about earlier in terms of me liking subtle surprises and just dropping the surprises in there. I want to make sure there's going to be twists and turns. You don't necessarily, you think you might know what's going on, but you probably don't know what's going on. And I like that feeling when I'm reading, so I want to give that feeling to everyone else.
Well, you you definitely did that. Yep.
Did you read
Um,
that one or no?
I only got like 4 chapters in. Because I've been busy.
Yeah,
Um,
because on Stolen Pieces by chapter five is when this twist start and they just start twisting.
I'm gonna just go through your whole catalog because I feel like and I feel like I'm gonna do you like I did Eric LaSalle and have to get the physical books and do my notes so I can come back to you in your DMs and ask you serious questions about what's wrong with you.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You stay reading. She did that. She was actually listening to the audiobooks and she was in my DMs like every 27 minutes or so, if that. And it was fun. I actually went and listened to it with her because she had me all excited. I was like, oh, where are you at? Let me go listen to. I listened with her. It was fun.
I can't tell you how much because we're gonna talk about how to kill your neighbors. I can't tell you how much I literally laughed my ass off, literally in tears, laughing. Um, from knocking on the door when she getting her groove on, the dog poop. I
Lester.
just it was a lot. Every neighborhood has that one person. You know what I'm saying? What inspired the character of Linda? The neighbor who makes everyone question their sanity and possibly their alibis.
My actual neighbor, like this is based on my real life neighbors on my real life street. Coworkers is based on my real life coworkers. That shit is all true. Anna J and Tanisha both offered some fun stories for coworkers as well. But yeah, they're all true stories. So the actual neighbors inspired Linda. Linda is not actually a 60-some-year-old woman. Linda is actually a man, a couple next door. But I had to take some creative liberties since I'm about to talk real bad about y'all.
Oh, the story is so clever how it plays with the classic whodunit formula where everybody is a motherfucking everybody did it. It just seems like everybody had something to do with it. So, what was the most fun part of writing a mystery where literally every character wants the victim gone?
I can't answer the question because then it would be a spoiler. I keep this damn light keeps falling over. But yeah, I don't want to give you the spoiler, but the spoiler is the answer. Hold on. So everyone thinks that X is happening, and then Kira and James was like, "Hey, what if something else happens instead?" And so I was like, that will suck because then I have to restructure the whole book, but that would be fun. And so that's what I did. So I think that was the most fun because there's like that fun twist in there that you're not necessarily expecting. But if you read them out of order, then it's not going to be nothing's going to be shocking at that point.
The satire in this book feels so relatable. Boy, I need to have my neighbors read this book so they can be like, Okay, I'm gonna stop. Was there a real life moment where you thought the situation is so ridiculous that it deserves to be immortalized in fiction?
Um, Probably the HOA situations where they wanted her to power wash the roof. That was real. All those HOA situations are real. My best friend lives in an HOA, and she messaged me and she was pissed. She was like, "They want me to spend $2,000 to power wash the roof." Like, so yeah, all those HOA situations, those are real. And so that was like, okay, I need to add this into the book. Like, there needs to be these outlandish HOA situations in an environment where we don't actually have an HOA. Like, what is wrong with this woman? So
You know, your book is
yeah.
giving. You remember the '90s classic, or was it the '80s classic, The Burbs,
Yes, I
with
watched the
Tom Hanks?
remake.
Yeah, I did too. I loved it. This is how I was feeling between that and the movie Clue. I was sitting here like, what the fuck? That's what you give it. So let me ask you. So when narrating How to Kill Your Neighbors, how many times did you have to stop recording because you were laughing too hard at your own writing?
So fortunately, by the time it's time to record, I have it under control. It's the writing process itself, because when I'm writing, I have Word read it back to me because I want to hear how it sounds. I want to hear my typos, because Word don't give a fuck. Word's gonna read your typos, all of them. If you put an extra P in a word that doesn't have a P, it's gonna pronounce the P. So go fix that shit. So I always play back my books. So I be cracking up. So by the time it's time to record it, I'm usually under control, except for How to Kill Your Readers. Readers took me out, because when I tell you, I'm sure you know by now that I'm not the only person taking lives in How to Kill Your Readers, and the real life people are other authors are in the audiobook as themselves, and they were freaking hilarious. So just pausing with my lines where I know that their lines are going to go, I would just be busting out laughing because their lines are freaking hilarious. So that was the only one that I just couldn't contain myself with, because they did such a great job and they were so funny.
Y'all, when y'all and those on YouTube, when I put this up, don't come in my DMs. It was her. It was not me. It was her. I'm just saying. Um, if you were sitting in a room with traditional publishing executives and the people controlling the budgets, what would you want them to understand about Black authors writing thrillers, suspense, psychological mysteries? What would you want them to say, and how honest would you be? And unfiltered.
We do it better.
Right, right.
I don't know. There's like a rawness. It, we do it better. That's all I got. Like, I literally was just talking to Mr. McCain about this, and we were talking about a certain author, and he was like, I was done. I was so upset about the book. I had to unfollow. I don't want nothing else. And then I found all these Black people doing it, and we just, I don't know. There's just something different about. I don't like. We're just. I don't know. It's just we do it better.
I concur. I concur. So, what advice would you give to someone that is an emerging Black author who wants to write in those genres, and an emerging narrator who wants to narrate but feel that the genre isn't welcoming to them, or feel like the narrating community is not welcoming to them?
I mean, you're not gonna know until you try it and do it. But be realistic about it. Like, seriously, because not everyone should be doing it. Like, okay, like, I mean, I know you've heard some audiobooks where you're just like,
They sound like they
what's
got a
happening
frog in
here?
their throat. Yeah.
right? And like, but like, not even just that. Like, you have to know how to, even if you're not doing a full out production, you still need to know the basics of cleaning up your audio. Like, I should not hear all of the shit you ate for lunch in in that audiobook, unless of course it's Samira Alexander's The Hostage, where I intentionally went to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because he was eating and talking at the same time. And so I gave you eating and talking at the same time, and it sounded dope. It came out so good. But yeah, so the point is, you're not going to know until you get in there and try it. So if you're going to want to write in this genre, make sure you're reading in this genre. Don't think you just come from romance and then just start writing a thriller. Like, it may sound like that's what I did, but I read thrillers. Like, I love thrillers. I'm a creepy person. So but yes, if you're going to try writing with us, you gotta read. Gotta read them.
I say that all the time. If you don't read it and you just throw yourself in it, it's gonna come off that you never read it in the first place. Because I do believe there's formulas to every genre and formulas that you have to, have in your writing, regardless if you're a new author or not. You still have to have those formulas. So, and people will notice if you don't. For real.
Exactly. And like, you can't really get those twists and turns kind of right if you're not reading to know like kind of the format and, like you said, the structure and the pacing. Like, there's pacing is so important. Like, people really underestimate like
Yeah.
that, the importance of it.
Because I'm more of a world building slow burn. That's just how it'll get to the point, but I like the world building slow burn type writing. So, if you're not used to slow burn, you'll probably sound just like you just mumbling about a whole bunch of shit. So
That's true. And I'm someone who's the total opposite. Like, I need everybody unalived by like the fourth page. Like,
oh,
I start taking lives. Let's get it. Let's go. We got things to do. And I feel like I'm a man when I write because I'm always so concise. And then I have to go back in and add detail and add some like extra stuff because I'm like, let's get to the point here. Like, there's needs to be the sex and then the murder and more sex and then some more murder.
Lord Jesus. I like the fast pace too, but I've always like but then again, I am more of a fantasy reader. So everything is more of, even when I write, it's more of world building. So it's detailed world
Yeah,
building. So it's always gonna be a slow burn, even when it's fast paced. After we get those details out the way, it's still gonna be considered a slow burn because in the beginning I'm structuring it as world building. So yeah.
right. Yeah, because with the fantasy, you really have to feel like you're like there.
It's very wordy. Very, very. So what projects are you currently working on, and what can readers expect next from this twisted mind of yours?
I am working on book 4 of the How to Kill series. I kept it like under wraps for the most part, but I just announced it like a couple days ago. I have not revealed the cover. I have not revealed the title.
Damn, I was
People
just
are
about to
ordering it
ask
though.
that.
Yeah, there's no. And so yeah, people are ordering it. I don't know when I'm going to release it on Amazon. I'll release it on Amazon, I guess. I'm so over Amazon. Maybe closer to the thriller event, but if they want it from me and they want it early, then they'll order it from me and they'll get it sometime in the summer. And I'm not even going to tell them when. You're just going to wake up and there's going to be a book in the mail.
Mm-hmm. I feel
So
that.
if you ordered, good job, you'll get your book. And if you didn't, then you can be like, wait, why did that person get a book and I didn't? Well, you didn't order.
I'm dead. I feel that. I said my ebooks are going to be on Amazon. Everything else, like regular physical copies, are going to be on my website or through Lulu, because it's easier for me to get my books through them compared to Amazon canceling orders or not giving me stuff that's not dented pages like this and all this other stuff.
Yep. They're
They're not about to
horrible.
stress me
It's
out,
such a pain. Yep.
and they
And
don't post
I'm
office
and like,
enough.
they don't. And I put all of that. I put all of that in How to Kill Your Readers. Like I was dropping all kind of just random knowledge. Like you're gonna know that because that burns my britches too when people are in the comments and they're like, well, the authors get paid for KU, and it's like it's 0.004 cents per page, ma'am. Like
Right.
we're not balling out here because you read our Kindle Unlimited book. Like so I want you to know that, and it's in there, and it's slid in there just real subtle. Like I'm on my way to the bank, I check my little thing, and I'm 198 page reads. I can't even buy a pack of gum with that, but we're gonna go and do this thing in the bank, right? Like
That shit crazy. I need everybody to understand. I had when my book first came out that first month or something, I had 20,000 page read, right? That only equaled to like 600 some odd dollars. My rent is more than that.
that part.
Hell. Insurance is more than that.
But I would love that because look, you got that big ass beefy book, like you said. My How to Kill Your Neighbors looks like this, like right. So do you know how many? This is only 100 pages. So to get to 20,000 page reads, I gotta have a lot of people reading this book. So so I right now would love that. It is relative in that situation. But yes, if you have published this giant book and, to only get like $1.08 per book when it's all said and done is crazy work. Like this book is literally, I get 40 cents if someone reads the whole book.
That's wild. And that's why I said it's important for readers to understand, stop making assumptions about what people and first of all, y'all need to stop pocket watching. Second of all, you shouldn't assume that just because an author continues to make books, they're making a lot of money. They're not. They just really enjoy what they're doing. This is something they're very passionate about. You're not getting paid for this. People look at it as an investment in the future, not in immediate payoff, because we've been told by Amazon we ain't worth shit because we only half a penny.
Right. And don't even get me started on the audiobook. The audiobook, these people take 60 to 75% per audiobook, depending on if you're exclusive or not, right? So, and I don't think people know that. They're just like, oh, the book is $19.99. We don't get to set the price. Audible sets the price of that audiobook, which I don't think is fair. Like a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money went into creating the audiobook. We should get to set our own prices, especially if you're going to take 60%.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this probably be the last. I don't know. It might be the last time I do a deal with Podium. I do not know. It's nothing. I'm not knocking Podium or anything like that. It's just it might be the last time I might do my own production and do it like that. That way, it could be on my website. But it's so much. It's so much we don't get that we should get. And the reason I went to Lulu is because I get 100% profit from them.
Oh,
So when I put it on, I connected to my web store on my web page. I'm getting 100% profit. Lulu only takes
yeah.
$4.99 for global distribution one time, and
Oh,
then
wow. That's not like Ingram. Ingram takes everything.
Lulu. I was doing my research. I was looking, and with Lulu, it's like $4.99 that one time for your global book sale fee, and then the rest of it's 100% profit.
Wow. Because like I have hardcovers on Ingram, and the hardcovers are like I think 23 or 24.99. I see $2.89.
What?
Yep. So I saw my books in Barnes and Noble, and it was like, oh, this is so fun. My books are in Barnes and Noble. That's great. Like in the store, but it's like okay, but I only got like $3 a book
I can tell you
being in
right
Barnes and Noble.
right now, my hardcover to print is $16.21, and
Wow.
the price that I set was 21. But yeah, and my paperback to print is $7.86, and I have the price set at $15.99. So
It sounds like you need to raise your prices.
I should, but I haven't. I'm really bad with all that shit. You know, AA done cussed me out a few times about raising my prices.
Yeah, because that they're you not getting nothing at that point because they're taking all of it.
Yeah, but I was just trying to see how everything works. That's how I was doing it for the first book. I know better when the second book come out, but I just wanted to see how everything worked. But when I was on Amazon, they was taking out way more. So I was just like, I'll just do my ebook on Amazon and do everything else on Lulu and my website.
Wait, Amazon, you should be getting more if you go directly through Amazon. Because that same hardcover I get is I will get $4 and change. So I get twice as much if I go directly through Amazon than I do through Ingram.
With my let me go to it. With my let's see. The hardcover is $19.99 on Amazon. And they're taking out more for me.
Because you don't have a price high enough.
I was trying, me, even though y'all may think I'm me, I was actually trying to look out for y'all because I feel like I didn't want y'all to spend so much money. But once again, I got cussed out about
Well,
that.
yeah, and I mean I do the same thing, like because I don't want like to price gouge like at all, like. But in that situation, they're taking everything, like so.
I mean, like I said, next go around, just like with the pre-order situation, pre-order on Amazon is shit. It's just shit. Either it's going to happen or they are going to tell you, oh, you can't do a pre-order. Now I can do pre-orders on my website and on Lulu, and they both connected, and I don't have to worry about it. So,
Right. Yeah, I do pre-orders through my website, and it's I never hit number one on Amazon. I think I did one time because everyone pre-orders it for me directly. If they were ordering from Amazon, that amount of people, I definitely would hit number one, but I always hit like two or three or something.
I, you know, I honestly, and I'm be real, I don't even care. I mean, I did get a best-selling title on the first book, but after what I went through with Amazon, it was so much discrepancy. Me calling to customer service, trying to fix shit. They put my book under 18 YA children's book at one point in time. I had to call in before the fucking shit went live because somebody noticed it and I haven't saw it. It was a lot, and I don't want to go through that no more. I just don't. They do Amazon do too much, and I think they do all indie authors kind of dirty. So nah, I just like I said, I'll do the ebook on there, but the physical copies, no, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Wow.
So where can readers purchase your books that is better for you as an author?
On my website because they come with like fun. I even have sprayed edges. Now this says Team Linda, hashtag Team Linda. I don't think you can see it that well. Oh, there we go. It's covered in blood spatter. I'm not Team Linda. The other one says how to kill. I am not Team Linda at all. But on my website, I have sprayed edges for all three of my series, and they come with like fun stickers and whatever.
Do you sign them or they can order
Oh, I
without signature?
personalize them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't just put my name in there. I give you like a little message, your name is in it if you buy it from me. So like you shouldn't be letting people borrow your signed copies because y'all one day Shonda Rhimes is gonna knock on my door and be like, hey, I read these and we need to turn them into a Netflix series. And then what? Kimberly's gonna have your signed copies. And then what? Because I'm gonna be too busy to be signing personalizing books at that point when Shonda finds me. Come on, Shonda, bitch, find me right here. But so yeah, you shouldn't be letting people borrow your signed copies. Hell's wrong with y'all?
I fucking did. So what events will you be attending?
My events are all local. I don't really go anywhere. The next event that I'm actually going anywhere is the Thriller event in October, the License to Thrill. And I got a whole bunch of anxiety about that, but it's totally safe. You guys are going to be completely safe.
Mm.
And so you should come and buy a ticket and see 30 thriller authors who kill people.
Right. That was reassuring. Right, right. So what are your social media platforms, ma'am?
I'm just on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and I just be acting a whole fool. Yeah, author J.R. Mason.
So how can authors get in contact with you if they want you to narrate their book?
They can just go to my website. I have links in all of my profiles. And if you click on any of the book pages that have an audiobook with them, it'll say, do you need a narrator? And if you click on that, it'll take you to my narration page where all of my samples live, and they are so much fun. I have some of the best audiobooks samples. Like, these women are insane. And so they make for fun audiobooks. And then the prices are all there too. So if you just want a regular narration with no, craziness, I can do that for you too. But if you want the whole full out production, that's an option. And then I have one in the middle for people who just like, I want it, but budget wise, I can't afford this. I can afford this maybe. So
Okay. So I'm finna do your outro, do 2 announcements, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right.
wait, say that again.
I said I'm gonna do your outro and I'm gonna do 2 announcements and we're gonna get out of here. Lord Jesus.
Okay. And I still don't have no power. This is crazy.
Yeah, we've been on here an hour. That's
I
crazy.
know. I'm like, oh God.
Oh man. So J.R. Mason reminds us that storytelling doesn't have to be in one lane. One moment she's exposing the absurdity of modern dating. The next she's plunging readers into the psychological mind games of a revenge killer. And then she's turning everyday suburban drama into a darkly comedic murder mystery. Her work shows that thrillers can be smart, funny, unsettling, and deeply human all at once, and that Black authors absolutely belong in every corner of the literary world, including the darker ones. Thank you so much for joining me. And for everybody that's on here and those who will see this on YouTube, remember to support indie authors, read widely, and keep your doors locked. Because apparently the peacekeeper might be watching. You know what I'm saying? So with that, as I always say, stay loved, stay loud, and stay Black on motherfucking purpose.
Thank you.
You are welcome. 2 announcements.